Hey guys, I'm Atharva.
And I'm Kaitlin.
And we're going to talk today a little bit about vegetarianism. So, starting off with you, Kaitlin, why are you vegetarian?
Okay, I first decided to become vegetarian when I got to college because I learned that I had a lot more food control, just buying whatever I wanted, and I wanted to try to lower my environmental impact. So for me, it was a bit more environmental reasons of just, this is something that I can do now, and that's something that's really tangible, and I might as well try it.
Yeah.
What about you?
So I grew up in India, and I grew up vegetarian, basically. My parents were vegetarian, and it's kind of religious reasons, but honestly, we're not that religious, like we're not overtly Hindu or anything. So it really boils down to more the ethical reasons for being vegetarian. Like, I feel uncomfortable eating a dead animal, basically, is my reasoning. But obviously, environmental impact is also something important that should be considered when choosing your diet.
Yeah.
Hello everyone, this is Kaitlin, and I'm going to talk briefly about some dining options for students at the University of Washington's Seattle campus. For a quick bite to eat on campus or getting something to drink, I'll start off with talking about cafes. So there are a lot of vegetarian options in the cafes. Specifically, there are smoothies that you can get, any of the coffee drinks, for me specifically because I do eat dairy products. And also the various pastries that they have on campus are often vegetarian as well. The Hub also has a lot of vegetarian options. Almost all of the dining locations in the Hub have at least one or two items on the menu that are vegetarian.
Right now I have one of my favorite meals on campus, the quinoa grain bowl. These are just some leftovers. I get this at the Hub, and it has quinoa, kidney beans, as well as some salad on top made of a few veggies, and some fried plantains with it. It's super good, very filling, and also pretty healthy and vegetarian.
In the main dining halls, such as Local Point and Center Table, the same sort of thing is true. So at every dining location, there's generally at least one or two vegetarian options, or vegan options, depending on what's offered. Going to the salad bars and the sandwich areas where you can create your own sandwich allow for a lot of ease being vegetarian because you can choose exactly what you're putting into that salad. I also generally choose the vegetarian pizza option, so I can do either cheese or the ones with topping that are vegetarian. And then I also prefer the Beyond Meat burger at Dub Street Burgers. For reference today, I made for lunch. I had 2 chocolate chip pancakes, and I made my own salad in the salad bar to go with. And then for dinner, I got a slice of vegetarian pizza, and then I ate some fries to go along with it. Here's a vegetarian lentil bowl that was offered at one of the dining locations on campus.
You've been vegetarian now for a few months, right?
Yeah.
Since you started in fall of 2019, I guess. What sort of stuff have you been eating, and how's that experience been?
Well, I would say that I'm a lacto-ovo vegetarian, to be very hyper-scientific about it, which just means that I eat both milk and eggs. And I would also consider myself a bit more flexible. I know some people go like cold turkey, like I know someone who went cold turkey when they went vegetarian, of like cut out all meat immediately. I try to be a bit more flexible just because I wasn't entirely sure what I was doing when I was first starting out. But I generally try to eat eggs and drink milk every day just because I'm relatively new and I didn't want to go straight into veganism where I don't know as much about it, and just to see how my body reacted to start off. And I always make sure to eat a lot of chickpeas and a lot of beans and a lot of peanut butter as well to really have a lot more protein in my diet.
And I definitely think one thing that helps newer vegetarians out, especially in Seattle, is that it's Seattle.
Yeah.
You get a ton of vegetarian options. Most dining places here in UW have some sort of vegan or vegetarian option. So that's also very helpful for me when I'm going into a dining hall to eat. My diet has generally consisted of Indian staple foods, so think rice and lentils, which is kind of like beans, I guess, and that's how I get most of my protein as well. And chickpeas also are a substantial part of my diet. What's been helpful for me is that I tried to learn to cook, and this quarter especially, I've been trying to cook every weekend and that type of thing. So now I think we'll show you a little bit about how I cook in my dorm, McKenna, which doesn't actually give you a kitchen, but here we are. Hey guys, this is Atharva, and I'm going to be showing you how you can cook some stuff in your dorm, and specifically, of course, vegetarian food. What I've got here is an Instapot, and it's pretty simple. I think it was the smallest size available that I picked up. You can just set it up anywhere on a flat surface of some kind, and then you can plug it into the outlet. And you have a bunch of options here for how to cook. You can saute. You can cook all sorts of things. Specifically, I saute stuff when initially adding ingredients, and then typically either hit the rice button or the pressure cook button. My general strategy is I first individually wash rice and lentils. Specifically, I use green gram for one of the simplest dishes I make. And then once I've rinsed them, I use specific proportions, and here what I'm essentially doing is using a little more than a quarter cup of rice, a little less than a quarter cup of lentils, and add water also proportionally. These are things you have to figure out as you go on, but you're typically aiming for twice the amount of water for both. And before placing them in the Instapot, I add The nice thing about the pressure cook option is that you can use these individual compartments, and let's say you can put rice in this one, lentils in this one, rinse them both individually, and then stack them on top of each other, and just place them inside the Instapot. They fit really easily. And what that does for you is you can cook multiple things at once, and at the end, what I typically do is I cook some rice, and then I cook some lentils in here, and then I can mix them up together at the end. Of course, before adding them in, I typically add some spices, and then at the end, typically I add some salt.
And just to wrap up our video on vegetarianism, we want to make sure to comment that you need to make sure that you're eating a healthy diet while you are vegetarian, and make sure that you're really paying attention to your body and what it's telling you, and if anything negative happens, you make sure to talk to a doctor or address that, and make sure, like, if necessary, taking any supplements you need to get things like calcium or vitamin D or vitamin B12 and those types of...
Yeah, definitely. And keeping that balance of nutrients is important, and finding out what type of balance works for you. So for people who are regular meat eaters who want to become vegetarian, maybe switching to a lot of meat substitutes, like tofu, might work really well because you'll still get that amount of protein, that type of protein. So initially, before coming to the UW, I very rarely ate tofu. My protein consisted mostly of eating rice and beans together in various forms, because that's like rice and lentils is a staple meal I ate pretty much every day before coming to the UW. But at the UW here, I don't eat as much Indian food, so I've had to rely a lot more on things like tofu and chickpeas to get my protein as well, and that's been a little rough for me overall. Like, it's been a little much more filling than I'm used to overall, so definitely find that balance that works for you. It's not going to work for everyone, and remember, don't take it too far. Ease into it slowly. It's not going to help if you're just being too hard on yourself. That's only going to be worse for your health.
Thank you so much for watching. I think that pretty much sums it up. We hope you have a great day. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel.
Yeah, and share with your friends.
Yep. Thank
or
you.
dislike it. It doesn't matter.